date or another time, I guess, and we'll be able to go more in depth about how we felt about certain things.
This is a non-spoiler, so we will do a spoiler.
Yep.
For as far as non-spoiler, we're basically we're not going to give any information that might wreck the film for you, because a lot of people are going to go see it, and we want you to go see it, and I think it's definitely worth seeing. It's worth the price of admission to go see it just for the bigness, the hugeness of the movie.
Yeah,
I'd say.
Yeah.
And it definitely is an ending. It's it wraps up a big section of Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah, it definitely wraps everything up, or at least it wraps up a portion of it, and it does take steps towards setting up the future of the Marvel Universe, good, bad, or whatever that is.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll obviously talk about that later. But
Mm-hmm.
I have some. I'd say I have some mixed feelings about that, but.
Yeah, it left me with mixed feelings as well. The movie did. Now, I thought that some of the ending, a lot of the ending was very satisfying. There was a big kind of closing of the book.
Yeah.
As far as what we've seen over 10 years worth of time.
Yeah, and I'll say that I think that so new fans will be satisfied, and I think old fans will be satisfied. We both saw Iron Man in theaters.
Yeah.
So that's 11 years worth of money spending on Marvel movies. So, I was satisfied. I was satisfied with what I got. I could have had more, but I was satisfied with what I got. I think there were some wise choices on some things, and I think some were more catered choices.
Marvel has made a clear choice. Marvel has made some clear choices for their future.
Yeah.
Business choices. Yep. And some of those choices were very apparent, I felt like, in this film. So some people, they're made choices where some fans are just going to be like, okay, thanks for buttoning all that up for me, and now I'm good. And some fans are going to be like, give me more. And we sat, I think it's okay to say we sat in a crowd that was extraordinarily in favor of the new, and I was actually kind of surprised by that. A lot of the classic stuff is what I love.
Yeah.
And we sat in the theater that was, very pro Captain Marvel.
There was a lot of interesting wardrobe, haircut, and style choices is what I'll say.
Yeah.
And I feel like if I went out and talked to those people on the street, we'd have a major cultural difference, cultural and.
You're being so nice right now.
Yeah,
you're really being nice.
We have some major differences.
There were some crazy SJWs in our theater.
Yeah,
wildly crazy SJWs in our theater.
Yeah,
and I was just kind of amazed. It was almost like all of the cartoon tropes that you would kind of put on certain people all came to life.
It was pretty
all around us.
It was pretty incredible.
It was wild.
And I will say that I think that I would have enjoyed the movie at least 10% more if
30. I'll give it a solid 30% more if we weren't sitting in
If we weren't sitting, because it was literally the row in front of us and the row behind us. We were literally surrounded. And I would have enjoyed it much more if I was watching it with a different group. I feel really bad saying that, but it was because of some of the ridiculous cheering and sobbing. Downright.
We should say it's a very emotional movie.
Yeah.
It's a very emotional movie. There's some good high points and some good low points that really kind of take you on a roller coaster.
I mentioned a scene that I specifically hit me, and I was I could feel it. I could feel my eyes they were to the point.
I don't believe that. Not the Macho Man. There's no way.
All right. No, I did. I'm a macho, but I'm very tenderhearted, and so it got to the point, and I was like, it was where the tear is gravity. It hit its max limit before it rolls down.
Who was the character? Wait a minute. Before you answer that, don't make sure you can say it. But what was the character? Can you say it without it? Did it involve Happy Hogan?
Yeah, it
Okay.
did involve Happy Hogan.
Happy Hogan has a tender scene in this movie.
He does.
Yeah.
And
it got Macho. It got him.
That's not a spoiler.
It got him.
But
what a pansy! I can't believe that part got you.
it was good. It was a good part. Anyway, but yeah, I think I would have enjoyed it a lot more if it weren't for the people that were surrounding us.
Well, can I say that I think that maybe I thought the movie was very well done as far as like the story was amazingly intricate, but put together in a way that was pretty easy to follow.
Yeah.
It kept a wide arrangement of people going the same direction. It kept the story moving, and in 3 hours didn't really feel like 3 hours to me.
Yeah.
So that was pretty awesome. But in that, there was a lot of sort of like relationship changes, a lot of mending, a lot of like fixing things, and a lot of like breaking things.
Mm-hmm.
So there are a lot of like relationship things that happened.
Yeah.
With a huge, real big universe of people.
Right.
And so there was a lot of like if you connect with Iron Man and his story and his movies, then there's definitely some of those things in there for you. Mm-hmm. Or if you're into Hulk, or if you're into Black Widow, or whatever who your character is, there is a character arc that almost everybody gets.
Yep.
And so there's some real tender moments.
Yeah.
I didn't cry. I'll tell you why. Because I'm a man. No, I didn't. I honestly, I didn't cry.
I was waiting. I didn't know what you were going to say.
I didn't cry because of the sort of ridiculous behavior of the SJWs that we were surrounded by.
That definitely stopped me from
It took me out of the movie.
Yeah, it took me out of the movie.
If I had been seeing that with my bros, my homies,
Yeah.
I might have gotten a little bit more
It's
misty.
just me and you sitting there. Yeah, it definitely did. It took me out of the movie in some scenes.
Yeah. These people were. I'm telling you. Like people talk about SJWs, and they I'm not trying to be like an old man here, but like everybody, you don't have to be like everybody. Everybody's got their own thing, like there's a lot of unique individuals, but these people fit the bill.
I mean,
they were every trope.
If you asked 5 different artists to draw caricatures of SJWs, it would be the 5 people sitting in front of us. It'd be incredible, incredibly accurate.
I could have drawn the 5 people in front of us, like without even, going to see it.
The quality on this video is terrible, by the way.
Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. We're trying to do this right. We might have to put up a secondary video later.
Yeah.
Hopefully, this will come through. If not, we'll catch you next time.
We'll do the spoiler video. Yeah, we'll probably do that another like sometime this weekend maybe.
Yeah.
Give people a chance to see it. We'll make sure you understand that it is a spoiler video,
Mm-hmm.
and that don't watch it if you haven't seen it. Now, you don't say what your favorite part was.
Mm-hmm.
But did you have a part that gave you like the tingly sensation of like that is the the comic universe. Like I cannot believe I just saw that with my own eyes on the big screen.
Yeah, there was a part where
Don't say it.
I literally came up out of my chair like this, like yes!
That's the one I was thinking, and I screamed myself at that point. I was like, "Whoo!" I think is what I did in the movie theater.
Oh,
so
Lord,
I was there's a couple scenes that seriously like the feeling when you you're driving your car and the person in front of you stops really short and you like slam on your brakes and you get that like course of adrenaline.
Yes, yeah.
Like I got that
yeah
at one point in the movie.
Yeah.
And it was like that was 10 years I was waiting to see that. I've been waiting 10 years to see like
Little Macho.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Young
Young Macho.
Little baby
was
Macho.
just waiting to see these things. And there's a number of those scenes that were really important that they happened when they happened. I was like literally I could like feel my pulse because I was so excited about it, Mm-hmm. And so you get that. Yeah. And I thought it was incredible. Now, I will say that there's a lot of the movie that is not action heavy.
A lot.
a lot.
Yeah.
It's not bad, and it doesn't make the movie bad at all, but it's just not action heavy.
Yeah, well,
There's a ton of setup that there's so much you have to
there's a
learn.
lot of setup, but I'll tell you that just for me personally, a lot of that heavy-handed emotional part was too tedious for me. Some of it, I could do with about probably like maybe about half of the time, because I'm sitting there thinking, I mean, just like most moviegoers, obviously we're going to get to something good happening.
Yeah.
So yes, we've lost a lot of people. Yes, our hearts are broken, right? But we get that. But I felt like they could have done that a little bit faster. They could have gotten through that sort of like resolution of the problem a little bit faster. Because by the time that we finally start to get some positive things happening, I was like, finally, I felt that.
Yeah, you were like waiting.
Finally, something good, because this is a lot of sadness.
I thought it was there was a little bit of a. I thought there was going to be some action that was going to happen a little bit faster. It was almost like a fake out, and and something happens, and it's like the team is ready to do this thing, but it's not the action I wanted. and then you just have to wait a little bit longer. But it was pretty incredible when it hits. It's pretty amazing.
What did you think about? Let's see. What can I ask you about this? Okay. What did you think about the Hulk storyline?
Oh man, how can I say this?
Don't spoil anything. But what did you
anything?
think about it? Like, how did you feel? How did you feel the Hulk storyline?
So initially, the first like 15 to 20 seconds when you get reintroduced, I did not think I was gonna like it, but I think that once I settled into it, it was fine, and it was a unique take on something that has been done, and I thought it was okay. Yeah.
I thought the Hulk was one of the most interesting character developments because we
I was actually wondering how you were gonna like that.
I was a big fan of the Hulk in the '90s for the like Peter David, Dale Keown run, and a lot of what we saw in this movie kind of came from that.
Yep.
So I was kind of cool with that. I felt like the characterization, Ruffalo's characterization, was a little bit off.
Yeah, I think that's what ended up not liking that much.
Yeah,
was his character.
It's really Ruffalo though, because you're seeing, because every Mark Ruffalo movie I've ever seen, Mark Ruffalo is Mark Ruffalo.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he doesn't really play a character, he just plays himself.
Yeah.
And if you like Mark Ruffalo, then you like this Bruce Banner, right? But if you don't like Mark Ruffalo all the time, then parts of this Bruce Banner get under your skin.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I am with it. Like, sometimes, he's just too cute. I don't think it's funny. You know, like, he takes himself a lot more, he thinks he's a lot more funny than I do. That's the way I feel like.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it was very interesting the way that they kind of mashed a lot of the characterizations together that we've already seen of the Hulk.
Yep.
My feeling is probably that behind the scenes that was more to service Mark Ruffalo than it was to service the Hulk.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
But it almost reminded me how he was, how they had him like in wardrobe and stuff. Kind of like Amadeus Cho Hulk.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah,
a little bit.
Was kind of that, like, he looked like a giant green hipster. That was probably a spoiler.
Well,
sorry everybody.
A little bit. No, he kind of. There was definitely elements of that. Yeah.
But anyway, it's fine.
But it was an interesting take on the Hulk, and it makes you kind of wonder like what they could do with the character moving forward if they do move forward with the character.
All right, let me ask you a question that won't give anything away as a spoiler. Did you think, yes or no, Captain America had the best arc in the whole movie?
No.
No?
I love the Captain America arc.
Yep.
But I actually think that Thanos had the best character arc in the entire movie.
Ah, okay. All right.
Because the way that Thanos' story plays out was more satisfying than anything else in the entire movie for me. I really believe, honestly, that Thanos is our Darth Vader. Like he is one of the great villains of cinematic.
I can agree with that for sure.
You know, Josh Brolin is incredible.
Yeah, he is born to play that role.
And
he's great.
And the special effects basically are flawless. You don't ever Thanos is always Thanos. It's never.
Oh, we dropped. Did we drop?
Hello. Thanos is always Thanos. Let's see if we dropped here.
Somebody's watching. Who's that?
It's Matthew Fowler. What's up, Matthew Fowler? Thank you for chiming in.
So Shrek was off.
Yeah, we're having a little bit of internet difficulty right now, but we're gonna stick with it as long as we can. So just hang in there with us.
Oh yeah, look, we
paused a little bit there.
Stuck.
Then we came back. See.
Is it?
Let's see.
Yeah. So okay, here we go. So yeah, I mean, I can agree. He definitely had a good, satisfying arc as a villain.
Yeah.
But what was your favorite hero arc? Like without spoiling anything, who was your favorite?
Probably. I mean, Captain America was great. Iron Man was great.
Yeah.
Hawkeye was great.
Yep. I think all the original Avengers.
Yeah.
Maybe minus Thor.
One or two, yeah. What about Thor? Good or bad arc?
I'm undecided. I don't think I can.
I'm undecided too.
I don't think I can.
I could tell you as we were talking about it. I could tell that there was a lot that bothered you.
Yeah, I can't definitively say whether I approve or disapprove of his arc at this point. There's plenty that bothered me.
There's a lot of soy Thor.
Yeah.
Don't want to spoil it too much, but a lot of soy Thor. I mean, there's some good.
Thor
is awesome.
There's
in a lot of
some
ways.
great so Thor hits some really good comedic notes in the movie. Like I think part of his.
Matthew, don't give away. Excuse me, I'm sorry, Matthew. Don't give away anything. This is a spoiler free.
Yeah, spoiler free at this point.
So please don't give away anything in the chat.
I think his arc had some great comedic moments, and so it brought levity to the movie that was needed in certain spots. But it also, my opinion is that some of that was just like a little bit too overdone. Like it was funny. It started getting less funny. Like at the end of the movie, it's still happening.
Yeah.
And I think that just got me. If it was, it could have been done well, and I just didn't like that part.
One thing that we've seen in the Marvel Cinematic Universe throughout with all these characters is some well placed humor.
Yes.
Like there's especially because we started out, although Iron Man, there was a lot of quip. You know, like he's very intelligent, so there's a lot of quip. But it's like there's just so much that we've seen that works with humor.
Yeah.
That I think in this movie we really got piled on.
Yeah.
We didn't need all that.
I thought the one that the character that probably had the best one-liners throughout that I laughed the most at was Rocket. Like he wasn't in your face with like a silly shtick or anything.
Yeah.
He just like came in with the right things to say.
Yeah. Rocket was good, actually, wasn't he?
I thought he was great. And
you know what I didn't get to see enough of with Rocket was the guns in the mech building.
Yeah,
the tech building. And stuff like
he didn't do that, and
but I mean, it's barely enough room for anybody to do anything.
Yeah.
In this movie,
he did get he got play when he needed it.
Yeah.
So. Oh man, I just almost ruined it again for a lot of people.
Don't spoil. No spoiling.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean...
Matthew Fowler says MCU is dead and SJW Marvel is prepared for launch.
That is, I mean,
hey, that's a definite opinion. And there's a lot of
yeah.
people from this movie. There's a lot of people that are going to believe the same thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, and when I was watching it, I guess all the way through, you know, because I've heard some reviews on it that were along the same lines as what Matthew's saying.
Yep.
And I really was like, this is going to divide audiences in a lot of ways. A lot of this stuff is.
Yeah.
But in my opinion, it doesn't have to.
Yeah, and we kind of talked about this a little bit before we got here to do this, but I told you that I thought, like I was sitting in the theater and I was watching it, and a lot of things that I've wanted to see for years, like maybe decades, you know, were happening, and it was really cool for me to see. And I was excited to see some of these things happen, and I saw these SJWs that were sitting in front of us, and they were excited too, and I was like, you know, I hate that the game is changing for them.
Yeah.
That the characters are changing.
Yeah.
That the comics are changing for them.
Yeah.
I wish there was a way for other people to enjoy it the same.
Yeah.
But it's almost impossible. I don't know. It's really hard.
You know, I don't think so.
Because they were having a great time.
They were.
They were having a fantastic time.
The SJWs, the hipsters.
Yeah.
They were having a great time.
They were. And so I was like, I'm happy that there's people having a good time. Like, I don't want them to have a bad time.
Can we just take a time out? Because I got to describe this guy I was sitting next to.
Oh, man. Hey, you do that. I'm going to get some water.
All right, go ahead. I was sitting next to this guy, and literally, he was shaking. I mean, like, this guy was vibrating with, I guess, anticipation before the movie began. And he did not stop shaking the entire movie. I'm about 75% sure that he had something wrong with him, but I'm a little worried that he was just very very like he was just a real soy-filled boy. And he was just constantly bouncing and
I could feel
squealing.
him vibrating from my seat.
Oh, it was awful. He was just ruining parts for me because when exciting moments would happen with characters that I really don't connect with, he would squeal with delight. And it just made me really worry for the next generation. I mean, they don't have the heroes that we have, you know, and it's really sad. Death Max asked, is there a Hulk versus Thanos scene?
We can't really say that.
I don't want to spoil anything for you, Death Max. You're going to have to either watch the movie, or you can watch our spoiler reaction.
And not just you, for everybody.
For everybody, yeah. Correct. I don't want to give away any specifics on scenes. We were just talking about characters a minute ago, and we both felt like the Hulk arc was kind of interesting, but a little bit different. I probably liked it a little better than Macho did. And then the Thanos arc, I feel like, was very satisfying. That was very well done. And Josh Brolin is probably one of the finest actors in the whole film.
I'll say my favorite character arc was definitely Cap, but it's probably because he's like a favorite character of mine. So.
Yeah. Hey, Matthew Fowler, I don't know if you get the concept of spoiler-free, but you are providing spoilers. And so I'm just going to take your stuff out because you are spoiling in the chat. So please stop it. You can chat. We'd be glad for you to chat, but you got to say things that are not spoiler, okay?
Yeah.
So yeah, there was a lot of great moments. I felt like the battle scenes were incredible.
Yeah, so obviously this is not going to be a spoiler because you know it's Avengers.
It's a battle. They're battles.
There's going to be a battle,
yeah.
And so there's I guess hopefully this doesn't ruin anything for anybody, but there is a part where it's like the cavalry arrives. Mm-hmm. And that was incredible.
There was a lot of incredible things like that.
And it was almost on a scale like the battle kind of is on a scale, and it's not quite a Lord of the Rings scale battle, but there is like many beings in one place, just like wrecking havoc is caused. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, there was so many characters in this movie. I can't think of anything that even comes close to the amount of actors, big name actors that they got.
Yeah.
There were even some sort of little silly scenes where there was people that are pretty famous that were just in these kind of silly scenes.
Throwaway scenes.
Yeah, throwaway scenes. Not even it's like they just wanted to be in it somehow. Mm-hmm. Because this is basically the biggest thing ever in all time. And so a lot of people are saying $3 billion.
Yeah.
It's going to make that.
Somebody was talking and they said, this movie's going to make $3 billion. It's going to make more money than Avatar ever made. And it probably will.
Yeah.
It probably will.
It probably will. I mean, it's definitely worth a lot of people are going to have a certain feeling about what Marvel's doing. But as far as a standalone movie, it's worth the price of admission.
Yeah, absolutely.
I rate movies on whether or not I would go back and see it again.
Yep.
Do you think you would go back and see this movie again?
I said earlier
in the theater.
Yeah, I said I would like to do it again because my experience tonight, while it was a good one, I think. I enjoyed watching it. I want to see it again, not surrounded by a bunch of SJWs.
Yeah.
I think I will enjoy it more at a second viewing than I did tonight. So we have a local theater that we go to for every sort of major nerd movie opening, Star Wars, Avengers, whatever.
Yeah.
And so we went there again, and tonight it was just very heavy. If it was a Star Wars night, there'd be a lot of large sweaty dudes in there.
Yeah.
Which there's
there's some large sweaty dudes.
There's some large sweaty dudes in there tonight, but it was just a very different crowd, a very young crowd.
I'll tell you,
very young crowd.
What I told Macho was that the reports are true. A lot of the stuff that especially if you listen to Comicsgate content, if you like Comicsgate content, you hear a lot about SJWs and what they do, what they like, what they represent.
Yeah.
And you hear a lot about business decisions that Marvel's making to attract that crowd. And I'm here to tell you that they are doing that, and that it is true, and that they are winning that crowd.
Yep.
There is definitely a box office draw for SJW folks, especially gals, to come and see Captain Marvel do something, and also Black Panther. I mean, they represent a new crowd, and when those particular characters were having their moments, this crowd erupted. And I was really kind of amazed by that, especially because, we live in an area that's not necessarily probably known for that. It's not real hip.
Yeah.
But everybody who was anybody in that particular kind of community came out, and they were all very young.
Yep.
And I was amazed at how the marketing is working. So I would say, the reports are true.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff changed.
And it's not I don't know. Movies can be for everybody. They are for everyone.
Yeah.
And so part of me, I feel bad being dogging on them for being there or whatever, because movies are for everybody.
Yeah.
But what I don't like, I guess, is the what am I trying to say? The culture and the values behind why they're there. Mm-hmm. That's what bothers me about it.
I agree.
I don't mind that those people are represented. It bothers me that it's being forced upon us.
Yes.
That those cultures and values are being forced upon us. That's what I'm trying to say.
Okay. I'm not going to tell you what it is. There was one line. Me and Macho are 100% aligned on this. There's one line in this movie, and we almost threw a fit over this one line, and I'm not going to say anything about it. I'm just going to say there's one line, and if you guys watch it, once you watch it, you'll know. It is. And if you come back and tell us what it is, we'll give you a big old virtual high five.
Yeah, right. So what they've done, in some instances in the movie is take things from comics that are along those lines, and this is one of those things.
If you follow modern Marvel comics over the last 5 years, some of these things will resonate with you in probably a negative way if you're like us.
We might have been the only two dudes that sat there through that and were just like,
yeah, I don't like it. 100% no.
And even I had a friend that was beside me on the other side of Mutt that was like, he was like, dude, that was awesome. And I was like,
nope, it wasn't.
It wasn't.
That wasn't awesome at all. And
awesome.
You don't understand it because you don't read the comics, you know, or you don't know about the comics. Right? And there was a lot of, I thought there was a lot of that. There was a lot of people that were MCU fans.
Yep.
But had no idea where that material draws from. And
I said this earlier too, is that there's all these situations, and you'd spot little things, and it's from the comics.
Yeah.
And people would like cheer when these things happened, and or would be shocked, and they'd be like, "Oh my gosh!"
Yeah.
And you're like, "You're a decade late, buddy." You know. Like,
yeah.
So.
Well, and it's kind of interesting because the MCU has kind of drawn from comics, and that's been a lot of what's great about it. Like Winter Soldier was a great movie because they drew so much from the comic storyline, right? Same with Infinity War. Great because a lot of those things were drawn directly from the comic storyline. And of course they changed a lot for the movies because you have to make it work as a movie. But that's what's been great about the MCU is that they kind of shed the fear, right, of this is too silly to put on a screen. No, they just put it straight on the screen. You know what I mean? And let it stand for itself and be what it is. That's what I loved about Thor Ragnarok. Like, of all the movies, I felt like Thor Ragnarok just took the comic book and just put it right on the screen.
Right.
And a lot of it was silly and goofy and corny, but it worked in that context because it was so colorful and fun.
I mean, same thing with Guardians too.
Absolutely, yeah.
You know, like Guardians is like a weird comic that didn't get. I mean, like it had some fandom, but not the same as a lot of the others. And they took all this crazy, weird, not necessarily popular stuff and made it really like it just really worked.
Yeah.
So
but still in similar fashion now, we've kind of worked our way up in the MCU from where they've kind of used the material from the 80s and 90s that they want to use, and now we're starting to use the
they're getting to the point where they're
they're using the storylines.
It's going to be current event stuff.
Yeah. And that's the part that's going to lose me probably.
Yeah. So.
But we'll see. I mean, I don't know what they're going to do. You know.
I will probably, like, knowing myself. There's gonna be, when some future movies come out, like Spider-Man already has me. I'm gonna watch it, even if I'm not like 100% on board. Yeah. I'm still gonna go see it. There'll probably be another Thor movie. I'll probably go see that. Yeah. But when it starts becoming like Okoye or whatever, like I'll probably skip that one. I'll probably skip whoever else. You know, if they're doing like A-Force, I'll probably miss it. I'll get that on Redbox, whatever. Or when it's the all new Avengers or something, and they have like X-23 is Wolverine. There's no Wolverine. There's X-23 and stuff like that. Like
they're gonna have to win people like us over on that.
Right, yeah. So they already have the segment of the population that's going to be on board with that. Right. And there's nothing wrong with that character. Yeah. But it's not something I'm necessarily interested in, so they're going to have to woo us back.
When you say I'm going to put a Wolverine movie together, and Wolverine is the kind of character that a lot of people are drawn to. He was probably the most popular characters in Marvel Comics.
Yeah, absolutely.
So in 1999 or whenever the first X-Men came out, the fact that Wolverine was on the screen just got a lot of people like us to go, right? The character goes before the movie, right? Yeah. Now they're in a situation where they kind of need to sell characters to you.
Right.
like if they're going to sell us an X-23 movie,
Yeah.
right? And this has nothing to do with Avengers
there's
Endgame.
Absolutely nothing.
Just so you know, that's not a spoiler or anything like that.
Don't tell them the Wolverine's.
But X-23, if you go to that route and make an X-23 and the Badger movie, then you've got a lot of winning to do to get that marketing to me to make me want to go see that movie.
Yeah. Yeah, and like Matthew Fowler saying Peter Parker's days are numbered, and he's probably right.
Yeah.
Like, Peter Parker will be there for a while, but Miles Morales is going to be in there.
Yeah. We do, Matthew, there is a Burger King Kids Club mentality for sure. It is.
I didn't even read that book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is too. I mean, and that's that's the push that we're seeing.
Yeah.
But, man, maybe our days are not, I'm okay with saying that it's not for me anymore. You know what I mean? Like, I'm okay with that. Like, we can
I'm going to be sad about that. Like, I'll be sad.
Yeah.
They're not making movies that I'm really wanting to see.
Yeah.
But, I mean...
Well, here's the thing.
We had a 10-year run, man.
Yeah. It's been good.
It's been good.
No. There's still a lot of great movies they can make.
Yeah, and they will. It's so I bet. What I'm willing to bet that I don't think this will be the end of the MCU for me for a long shot, and I think that a lot of this stuff, like, there's going to be a lot of changes, these new things, and they are going to be maybe heavy on current events, but they just got back some huge properties that they have, decades and decades to draw from.
Right.
X-Men, Fantastic Four,
Yeah.
all that stuff. So, Dark Phoenix is going to come out. It's going to be garbage.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
It's just not going to be good.
You just
It's
not
going to be
buying it?
it's the same thing as all the Singer movies. It's not going to be good. And then
Is it Bryan Singer?
it doesn't matter. It's going to be like that. It looks like they all look exactly the same.
Okay.
You could cut sections out of every single one of those, and they'd all look very similar.
We need to do an X-Men movie talk.
Yeah, but that movie's going to be bad, and they're going to be, and Disney's going to go, all right, done.
Yeah.
And then they're going to do it right.
Yeah. I
hope they'll do it right.
Yeah.
And I hope they'll do classic, like, it's Beast, Wolverine, Cyclops, Jean Grey.
Yeah.
Like, maybe even do like Jubilee and Gambit, like Storm, 90s X-Men,
Yeah.
Jim Lee X-Men.
That'd be great.
Put Jim Lee X-Men on the screen.
We'll
you make
go
$1
see
billion.
that. Billion.
No problem.
Yeah, I'm going
in
to
the
see
bank.
that. Yeah.
But so I think there's hope. There's stuff like that. Fantastic Four. You make a good Fantastic Four movie.
That's impossible.
It needs to be
impossible.
animated.
Dude, that's what.
It needs to be
I
animated.
told him that, just for the record.
No.
I'm all about
that's
that.
100% me.
I've always told Macho that it needs to be animated movie because that's the only way to do Fantastic Four right. Okay.
100% honest, I did steal that from him, but it does need to be animated. You're
does,
right.
yeah.
I agree with you 100%.
They can make a good Fantastic Four movie. They could.
They could, but
the
won't.
problem is they won't.
They won't.
Right?
Yeah.
They've had, 3 chances?
You know what
now?
I really want to see is Galactus as a big gray cloud. That's what I really want to see.
I went back and watched the Silver Surfer.
It's so bad.
It's so
Silver
bad.
Surfer himself looks incredible.
Pretty cool, but I don't remember Silver Surfer in the comics ever melding through
his board. Yeah,
all
bad.
that stuff.
Toomey.
What?
In the new Silver
red?
Surfer, the all red run. He's like, to me.
Yeah. I like all
to
red.
me. I'm starting to agree with my dad. Cape movies are going the way of the Western.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could be. I mean, but you know what? Like we're saying, there's so much you can do, and everything is a market, right? Like, what market are you going for? Marvel's kind of chosen the market they're going for. Now, they could go for multiple markets. Mm-hmm. They might see value in multiple markets. They might be like, we're going to go back and make another Captain America. We're going to reboot Captain America and make new Captain America movies, right? If they wanted to do that, they could.
Yeah.
If they wanted to go back and say we're going to do, Wolverine early years, they could do that. They could do anything they wanted to, and they could find a marketplace for that movie. Look at what they're doing with Transformers. They went back, right? They kind of went all the way with the.
Have you watched any of the recent Transformers?
Yeah.
You have?
Yeah.
Did you like them?
No.
I watched.
I'd look at Michael Bay movies with a whole. Like, I've looked at, got to look at a Michael Bay movie through the Michael Bay lens. If you do that, it's more enjoyable.
There's no way. You have to be mentally handicapped or something. That's not.
No.
So
I'm not saying they're great movies.
I
at all.
turned the last
night.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
I turned that one on.
Yeah.
It was number one. It was Marky Mark's worst performance I've ever seen.
But it's a Michael Bay Marky Mark performance.
It was terrible.
All he's got to do
then
is
also,
just be flying through the air, and a transformer grabs him and puts him into
so bad. It is so bad.
Yeah, it's all terrible.
They're terrible.
But I've heard the Bumblebee movie's good.
I've heard it's good.
I want to go see that.
I want to see a good Transformers movie.
Yeah. Let's wrap it up, man. I mean, I think we've done enough talking. We're going to start spoiling everything.
Yeah, we will. So bottom line is, I liked it enough that I would like to go see it again.
Okay.
I'd like to see it I'd like to do a matinee, like near the end, the closing of its cycle at the theaters.
Yeah.
So there'll be like 8 people in there and me.
Yeah.
They'll shut up. They won't talk.
Yeah.
And I'd like to watch it again there in that setting at the big screen, because then I feel like I can absorb more. Tonight it was hard because of cheering and like sobbing and whatever else like was going on.
There was, when we got up to walk out, there was like these big puddles of soy all over the floor. Like, and it would get all over the place. It's oily. You know how oily it is, and it's just like, oh, it was so nasty. The soy was so like pungent.
Crying.
There was just pungent soy everywhere. It was awful.
And so I do want to see it again. I think it had some really great parts, and it wrapped up a lot of good stuff, a lot of good memories, and good character arcs for me.
Yeah.
So there were negatives, and we'll get into that next time.
Yeah.
And all the positives, too.
Yeah.
All right, what about you?
I'd say I liked it. It's a good movie. I mean, I paid money to go see something fantastic on the screen.
You haven't paid anything. I bought the ticket. He hasn't given me a dime yet. Let's be 100% straight with everything.
Well, what? Don't worry about that, man. Don't worry about that. We'll take care of that. You ain't got to worry about it.
I paid money for him to go see it, and he loved every
You
second
called
of
me
it.
your date in front of the ticket table.
Yeah, it was really funny.
You got me.
Yeah.
I was kind of tongue-tied.
Yeah.
This young kid, and he just looked at me like, oh, it's like that? Cool.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. Hey, what up, Trey? You finally come in.
Trey, number one question. What's the movie?
It was so.
Extra
It was.
woke.
It was woken,
So
man.
woke,
It was
man.
awake,
So woke.
wide awake and glowing.
Yeah.
But my final take is that it was a good movie and a fun movie to go watch.
Yep.
And I probably won't see it again in the theater for full price.
Yeah.
Like, that's how
So I'm saying matinee.
Yeah, I'd go to a matinee where it was like it's been out for a month.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
a Tuesday at probably
Tuesday.
3:30.
Yeah, that'd be
You
great.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
That'd be okay. But that's about it. I wouldn't go back into a crowded theater to see it again.
No, I'll probably take I'll probably take my I might take my daughter to see it. I don't know. She really wants to see it. She's seeing Infinity War and stuff. I don't think she'll be able to follow it yet.
Yeah.
So I might, but we'll see.
Trey says, seriously, it had identity politics. I wouldn't say that
No.
that it was all. I mean,
It didn't have anything that was in your face.
well, no, that's not true. There was definitely elements of that, definitely, but it wasn't something that would ruin the movie for you, probably. I'm saying that there's enough good in this movie to make
Right.
it an enjoyable movie.
Right.
But we're also saying that there's plenty of SJW stuff in the movie, and some of that definitely takes you out of the story. But it's sort of a, it's an exchange. It's a flip-flop.
Yeah.
Part of what we had to deal with was a unruly, emotional crowd
Yeah.
that was absolutely SJW and soy based.
Yeah.
So we had to deal with that. But I'm saying overall, it was worth the price of admission. It's a big, epic film.
I think that it ties everything up. It ends it nicely enough. Like, not everything was perfect. It ties it up and finishes off a decade of work, I guess. No, you should go, Trey.
I would recommend people watch it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And because it's a good, it's a good movie to get the conversation out there. Like if you don't like certain things, it's a good opportunity to talk about why.
Yeah, and like there's going to be a lot of videos that people are going to pick it apart about every little detail that they really hated.
Yeah.
And for me, I just am choosing not to let little details like that. There's some details that drive me crazy, but I'm gonna choose to not let all the little details ruin an experience for me.
Yeah.
I think is ultimately where I land on this.
I think I knew in those kinds of things, the political statement kind of things. I mean, I already knew what to expect going in.
Yeah.
And it basically was what I thought it would be.
Yeah.
You know, so that stuff's expected. Was it enough to ruin the movie? Not really. Not really. But there are story elements that, in some ways, I'm thinking there are little things in there that might stick in my craw to the point where this movie gets soured for me.
Yeah, I think
because
I
mean, because I'm telling you, like over time, the more I think about something, if it bothers me, it'll just stay and it'll just bother me.
He just gets sour and surly, and like there's no you can't deal with him. He gets grumpy. He that Twitter post the other day where he was drinking coffee, like that's what he's like most of the time. I'm
a really nice person, man. But I don't like certain things when you mess with my comic book characters. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And man, there's one thing.
There's one scene, and we'll talk about that in another
on
video.
Our spoiler video. We're gonna do a spoiler video. What, this weekend? Maybe
we got to do it.
Yeah, let's do it.
But it drove me. That was the one thing that got me so crazy.
Trey, don't bring up Rob Liefeld at a time like this. That's just not funny.
Yeah. He's very fragile at this moment, Trey.
Matthew Fowler says 6.5 out of 10.
Okay, that's fair.
That's a fair assessment.
Yeah.
I might go a little higher than 6.5.
Yeah, I might go a little higher too.
Because the epicness of some of the scenes was really good. I thought they did some things extraordinarily well.
Yeah, yeah, I agree with that.
Let's see. Trey says,
"That's why you despise him. You've been brooding over him."
Oh man. Speaking of stuck in my crawl.
21st.
What?
That's when we're having our debate.
Oh, it's May 21st.
We talked about this.
I forgot. But yeah, we will do it.
I won't remind you again because.
Oh no, I don't have to study up. I got it in the bag.
Mm-hmm.
I can just roll in like right now.
You think you do?
And win this one.
All right.
All right, we're going to shut it down, guys. Thank you very much for those of you who were watching. We really appreciate that. Thank you, Trey. You're our boy.
That's right. # one man fan.
Yeah, and then thank you, Matthew Fowler, for your comments. Sorry I had to remove some of those, but people might read these later. And
we appreciate you. I think
definitely appreciate your enthusiasm.
Yeah, and we're gonna just a little info once again. We're going to have a spoiler video soon.
Before you say that, I just want to say welcome, Deathmax. I haven't seen you yet, but that's a super cool name. I like Deathmax. Thank you for subscribing also.
Appreciate it. So, we're going to come back with another full spoiler video next couple of days. And then last thing, remember, April 30th, we relaunch our book, Hero Blood Patriots.
Yes!
Really excited about it.
Finally!
It's going to be really awesome.
I can't wait for people to start getting into this book. I can't wait to make it. Yeah. I can't wait to get it printed.
And pencils are going down. All kinds of stuff's happening. We should get a cover here colored very shortly. It's going to be epic. So,
yes.
You guys, that's right, Trey.
Thank you, Trey.
Thank you, buddy. So anyway,
thank you, Trey.
Hero with an eye, that's correct.
That's right, baby.
That's right.
Hero with an eye. And it's going to be...
Deadpool come out. What does that even mean? So, it's going to be great. We're really excited. So, you guys look for that, please.
Yeah. Hey, Mr. Deadpool, you called us at the end. Just come on back next time and get back up in this chat, and we will definitely be talking to you, okay?
It's late on the East Coast. We're out of here, guys.
All right, later, dudes.
Take it easy. Oh, you got to find your window.
Oh, yeah,
find your window.
Sorry.
Hit stop broadcast.
All right, right there.
Boomer.
Right there.
Hit it right there, Boomer.
Okay.
All right.
Peace.